Hi, these comments are for SA. This is Michael from BetterTOEFLScores.com, and I'm getting ready to evaluate your pronunciation post-test. So in your email, you have in the title, Pronunciation Post-Test, and you say, Michael, please listen to evaluate and recommend specific lessons to help me improve my pronunciation. And that's what I'm going to do right now. The purpose of the diagnostic post-test is to see if you've mastered all the different pronunciation lessons focusing on vowels, consonant, syllable division, grammatical word endings, word stress, sentence rhythm, intonation, and then thought groups and blending. So as part of this post-test, you're reading out loud these 3 paragraphs, and then you're answering these 3 specific personal experience questions. And then I will give you some recommendations as to what lessons I think you still maybe haven't mastered yet. Okay, so let's get started here. And this is your pronunciation post-test right here. So let's listen to it. And first of all, as we listen, let's focus on the 3 paragraphs.
Pronunciation post-test. Part A. Reading passages. Reading passage 1. When two people are talking to each other, they tend to stand a specific distance apart. Each person has an invisible boundary around his or her body into which other people may not come. If someone pierces this boundary, he or she will feel uncomfortable and move away to increase the distance between them. The major exception is family members and other loved ones. This
Okay.
personal distance is not due to body odor or bad breath, but because closeness lends a sense of intimacy that is at odds with the relationship to the other individual. Reading passage 2.
Okay, so we have that. So I'm taking down some notes as we go, and I'll go over these with you in just a minute.
Interestingly, the average person's personal distance varies from culture to culture. Americans tend to require more personal space than in other cultures. Therefore, if you try to get too close to an American during your conversation, he or she will feel that you are in his face and will try to back away. Try to be aware of this. So, if the person to whom you are speaking backs away a little, don't try to close the gap.
And good job on adjusting your tone in there. I think you're making improvements with that for sure.
Reading passage 3.
Okay.
Also, try to avoid physical contact while you are speaking since this may also lead to discomfort. Touching is a bit too intimate for casual acquaintances.
Casual. Okay, so that there's a few consonant sounds you're going to have to revisit.
So don't put your arm around his or her shoulder. Don't touch his or her face or hold his or her hand.
Okay.
Shaking hands with you initially, meet or part is acceptable, but this is only momentary.
Yeah, your speaking rate's just a little bit too slow here, so I'll go over all this in a minute.
Part B.
Okay, so now you're going to answer 3 personal experience questions. This kind of helps me understand your overall speaking fluency. So I'm going to give you a score here of 1.1 to 7. 1.1 is high beginner, 7 is a near native speaker. And usually, if you're in the advanced area, according to my speaking and intelligibility scale, you're probably you have a great chance of getting 26 or higher if you're scoring 5.1 or higher on this post test. All right, let's listen.
Respond to the following interview questions. Who is your best friend? Why is this person important to you?
So that P, you definitely need to put more aspiration on that P. You're not pronouncing that with enough air.
Use supporting examples. Padmaja is my best friend because she
Okay.
is understanding and a caring person.
But you kind of broke it up. She's an understanding and caring person. When you use "and," you want to connect both of the nouns together. I think is going to be a little bit better with your fluidity of
And we
expression.
share the same wavelength in our thoughts and actions. Having a best friend who truly understands you is a rare gift, and Padmaja embodies that perfectly. One of the reasons Padmaja is so important to me is her caring nature.
Now, so far you haven't really provided any concrete details, so it's always important to provide specific concrete details to help support some of these broad statements you're saying about your best friend. This is very important for TOEFL speaking because the more specific the detail, I think the stronger the argument is, and then it shows the IBT human raters and then speech rater ETS as artificial scoring engine that you have good control over your vocabulary.
For instance, whenever I am stressed or overwhelmed, she is the first person to notice and reach out to comfort me. Her kind words
The only problem here is you're trying to speak very clearly, which is good, but it's also disrupting, I think, your speaking rate and your linking and your blending and all of that. So it's not sounding very natural. And you did give an example there, but it could be more specific even than what you said.
and support.
So if you said you had a stressful situation in which you had to speak in front of your classmates, and then you explain how your friend helped alleviate that stress, so you gave a very strong presentation in your chemistry class. So you need to get more specific with the examples.
Supports always bring me peace even during difficult times. Another reason that we are on the same frequency, whether it's discussing
You got those long pauses in there. Be careful.
ideas, making decisions, or even sharing jokes, we always think alike. For example, during group activities, we often
But during group activities, how about this? During an astronomy lab in which we work together with three other students, we're able to. So you need more concrete examples in there.
end up suggesting the same solution or completing each other's sentences. This connection make our bond special and effortless. Padmaja's presence in my life has been invaluable because she
Invaluable, invaluable.
is not just a friend but also someone who encourages and uplifts me. Having a friend who truly understands and cares for you is a blessing, and
I would say having a friend who understands and cares for me is a blessing for me. So I would keep that focused on the first person point of view because you are telling the story.
I am grateful to call Padmaja my best friend.
All right.
Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? What will you be doing? Be sure to explain your ideas with supporting details.
Okay.
5 years from now, I see myself teaching biology and chemistry at a high school in Houston.
Okay.
This vision is shaped by my passion for science and my commitment to helping students succeed in understanding and appreciating these subjects. I plan to create an engaging student-centered classroom where learning is hands-on and interactive. For example, I would design experiments and lab activities that allow students to apply theoretical concepts in a practical ways,
Okay.
making learning fun and impactful. Teaching complex topics like cellular biology or chemical reactions can be challenging, but I aim to simplify them using real world examples and
Okay.
innovative teaching methods.
Good. I like that. You're pretty specific in that sense there.
In addition to teaching, I see myself mentoring students and help them
Yeah, I like that transition sentence. So, in addition to teaching, blah, blah, blah. So, you're connecting that sentence to what you've already said. Now, you're introducing the new topic of what you now want to talk about. That's always a good strategy. And it makes it easy to understand the connection of your ideas. So, using transitional sentences in both speaking and writing, I think on the TOEFL exam is always a good strategy.
develop a love for science. For instance, I would contend in science fair, assist with research projects, and support their career exploration in STEAM fields.
Okay.
My goal is to inspire students to see science not just as a subject but as a pathway to solving real world problems.
All right.
Moreover, I plan to grow professionally by collaborating
Okay. I'm going to continue to listen here.
with other educators, attending workshops, and staying updated with the advancement in science education.
And saying updated with the advancement of science education. So I think you are definitely varying your tone, which I like, but still that overall speaking fluency. I think the blending within the thought groups is making it difficult for you to have a natural native speaker like um, proficiency.
By doing so, I will continue to improve as an educator and better serve my students. In
Okay.
summary, 5 years from now, I envision myself thriving as a high school biology and chemistry teacher in Houston, making a meaningful impact on my students' lives and contributing to the broader school community.
Let's say and contributing to. So that's a word stress issue.
What
Okay,
is
let's go
your
to
favorite season of the year? Fall,
okay.
winter, spring, or summer? Be specific as possible. My favorite season of the year is summer.
All
I
right.
live in Calgary, a beautiful city, and during the summer it becomes even more breathtaking. The clear blue skies, warm weather, and vibrant greenery make the city come alive, offering endless opportunities to enjoy nature. One of the best part of summer in Calgary is going hiking and visiting the mountains. The nearby Rocky Mountains and stunning destinations like Banff are perfect for outdoor adventures.
Yeah, I liked how you use the word Rocky Mountain. So that's a good strategy. That's concrete. That's the name of a certain mountain range. But still, it almost sounds like you're reading what you're saying. It doesn't sound natural. It sounds more robotic. So that's something you got to work on.
Walking through lush trails, seeing crystal clear lakes, and breathing in the fresh mountain air is an incredible experience that brings me peace and happiness.
Okay.
Summer is also a time for family and friends. Since
You might want to say, instead of it's also a time for, say, I also like summer because. So if you say that, instead of just saying a factual sentence there, you're saying, I also like summer because you make it sound more like an argument. You're explaining why summer is your favorite season. So I think it's important to create that argumentative, not just a factual tone, because it kind of addresses the nature of the speaking task. This is also important for the TOEFL speaking.
Calgary is such a beautiful place, many of my relatives visit during the summer holidays. We spend time
So it's a beautiful place. Why? Is it because of the parks, the blue water, the green grass, the multitude of trees, the very clear, crystal clear blue clouds, or no blue sky with kind of white broken clouds floating by, with majestic sunsets with columns of white, orange, and pink light cascading into the atmosphere just at the crack of dusk and dawn. So you have to try to provide a little bit more of detail in there.
together exploring the city's attraction, enjoying picnics in parks, and taking trips to Banff and other scenic spots in the Rockies. These moments are filled with laughter and joy, creating lifelong memories.
So I think to improve your speaking, you definitely want to work on that linking. So you have a thought group of 5 or 6 stress words. You're going to link the words within that thought group. Then you have another 5 or 6 stress words, and you'll link those words as well. When you get to the end of the sentence, you want to drop your tone. I think that's going to help you with your overall speaking fluency. And then remember, at the end of each thought group or each non final thought group, you definitely want to maybe have the tone go up slightly, and then your tone falls when you get to the end of the sentence. All right, let me keep listening.
In summary, summer is my favorite season because it highlights Calgary's beauty, offers opportunities for hiking and mountain adventures, and allows me to spend quality time with loved ones. For
Okay.
me, there is nothing better than experiencing Calgary's charm under the warm summer sun. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for completing this. So now the question is, what do you do? So let's take a look at what your overall score is here. So remember that we're looking at your final post test, and I want to give you feedback on that. So I don't think you're quite at the 5.1 yet. So let's look. I'm going to say in the 3 area. We have student has obvious accent pronunciation variations, but these do not interfere with understanding. Student can respond with questions with sustained connected discourse, uses varied vocabulary, variety of grammar, occasional grammar errors. Rare 5 says rare isolated mispronunciation, but no evident patterns of error. But there's many patterns of error. So I think the problem I talked about earlier is linking, right? You want to work on linking the words within your thought groups. So I'm going to give you a score here of 4.5 out of 6. So I still think you're not quite there when it comes to your overall pronunciation and speaking fluency. Now let's go back to my website here. So I'm at stealth.michaelbuckoff.com. And I'm going to point out some lessons I think that are still important for you, some accent reduction lessons. Okay, so there are certain consonant sounds I think you can work on. I think speak clearly lesson number 14, the F and the V consonant sounds. I think it's something you want to work on. Lesson number 23, I think the T and the D consonant sounds you still need to work on. I think speak clearly lesson 19, the P versus the B consonant sounds. I think that's something that you want to keep working on based on this post test. So we have the V, we have the P. Okay, let's go into the more advanced areas here. I think syllable division, grammatical word endings is fine. I think word stress, not a major problem. I think intonation is something that you still want to work on. Speak clearly lessons number 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, and then 41. I think you can work on those. And then finally, I think the thought groups and blending, I mentioned linking. I think that's another area you're still struggling with. So speak clearly lesson number 41, 42, 43, and 44. You should review those lessons. Okay? Now, what else? I'm going to go into Chat GPT. I'm going to get some recommendations. I'll see which ones work. So I have to type them all out right now. My student needs to improve by increasing her speaking rate and by linking words within thought groups, right? Let's see what chat will come up with. I think I have it. I'll put use the second person point of view. Okay, let's see what chat comes up with. If it's a recommendation that maybe is not good, I'll let you know. Chat can make mistakes, right? So it says to improve your speaking fluency and pronunciation, focusing on increasing your speaking rate and linking within thought groups, try these strategies. Number one, practice with chunking and thought groups. Break sentences into natural thought groups, smaller chunks of meaning. For example, I love to travel because it helps me relax and experience new cultures. Practice reading aloud with pauses at the slashes, focusing on linking words within each group smoothly. So I think that's a good idea there. Number two, shadowing exercises. Listen to short recordings of fluent speakers, podcasts, audiobooks, or videos. Play one sentence or phrase at a time, pause and repeat it, immediately mimicking the speaker's speed, rhythm, and linking. And remember that the shadowing you can do with all of my accent reduction videos at my website, the 7-step system to pass a TOEFL IBT, right? It says focus on how the speaker connects words like want to becoming wanna or used to becoming used to. Record yourself. You're already doing this, right? Record your speaking, practice, and listen to identify areas where you pause too often or sound choppy. That is very good suggestion there, because there were several instances in the post-test you sounded a little bit choppy and you had maybe too many pauses in there. It says aim to smooth out those areas by blending words naturally and reducing unnecessary pauses. It says use a metronome or timer. Practice speaking with a metronome or timer to help increase your pace without rushing. Start slow, then gradually increase the speed while maintaining clarity. I think that's a good suggestion. Number 5, practice linking specific sounds. Focus on common linking patterns. Consonant plus vowel. Pick it up sounds like pick it up. Vowel plus vowel. Go on sounds like go on. Create sentences with these patterns and practice saying them quickly and smoothly. Number 6, engage in timed speaking drills. Set a timer for 30 seconds and try to explain a simple topic. My favorite hobby, for example. Focus on speaking continuously and linking words naturally. I think that's a good suggestion. Number 7, practice with tongue twisters and speed drills. Use tongue twisters to build muscle memory for faster, clearer pronunciation. For example, she sells seashells by the seashore. Number 8, get feedback from a listener. Work with a teacher, peer, or language partner who can point out when your speech becomes choppy and help you correct it. By consistently practicing these techniques, you'll see gradual improvement in your fluency, speaking rate, and ability to link words within thought groups. So I think that those are some good suggestions. And if you have a peer, somebody that you know is a native speaker, if you could maybe practice reading some newspapers out loud with the person, I think that would be a really good activity. And as you're doing that, you're definitely trying to focus on reading out loud a little bit faster, and you want to work on linking the words within those thought groups. Those are all good things you can do. All right, so SA, thank you very much for completing the pronunciation post-test. I hope that my feedback will help you to continue in your journey to improve your speaking proficiency.